Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for September 2025. We're going to jump right in here, Aries. You have this oracle card. It says, seek wisdom and guidance from elders. You also have this green man. It says, the forces of nature favor you. Yeah, really good time for mentors, Aries. So, if you need answers or if you have any issues or problems in life, finding an expert could be a very fast solution, which always reminds me of King of Swords energy. Sometimes, yes, I realize that this isn't the King of Swords. I'm just saying intuitively that is kind of the energy I get there. The King of Swords can literally just represent an expert who can solve a problem very quickly. And so if you have any issues, it might be worth it to, consult an expert or find a person that can help you more quickly at this time. I think this month is going to be about you kind of becoming a little bit unbreakable. It's kind of just even based off your astrology, Aries, I would say that, there are a lot of things I think going on for you, and probably that have been going on for you for a while, that are kind of hardening you, but in a good way. It's making you stronger, making you unbreakable. That's what you have been working on. And, I'm not saying that energy necessarily wraps up this month, but, there could be, you could have some moments where you maybe, kind of what's popping into my head is that you might be having some moments where you're wow, old me maybe wouldn't have been able to handle that. And now you can. So I don't know. It's kind of maybe a little bit of confidence building as well as popping into my head intuitively for you here, Aries. And, obviously that would be a good thing as well. I think a little bit of a blessing here is that we're getting to the end of Chiron in Aries. And, as I always say, to me, Chiron in Aries is a major pain in the ass. So, I think that it's probably going to be a good thing for you that we are leaving that energy behind. The other thing here, Aries, is that we go down to the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands is a little bit adventurous, and I do think this month that being a little bit more flexible would be a good idea. But going from the Two of Swords to the Page Knight of Wands is kind of cutting through the fog. It's and this kind of makes sense, I would say, with Uranus and Gemini as well, is that you could be having some moments of genius where you have been confused in the past. So, and the reason I'm also saying this is we go down to the Queen of Swords here, which obviously she only has clouds halfway up her body. And so I am getting a message here that you are kind of cutting through the fog this month, or, there could be a flash of genius, which would be great, that provides you with some answers that leads to progress, which we see right here with the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is a little bit of progress, and I feel like you are finding something that you actually want to work on. I kind of feel like saying you're going to be working on your next big thing here, Aries. I feel like I said this to you recently as well. It's, I always get this level up feeling. You're the only sign that gets this level up thing, where I'm not necessarily saying oh, you're gonna be a billionaire or something. I'm not trying to make this out to be better than it actually is, but again, the big difference is that everybody else seems like they could be completely starting something new in their life. You're the only sign that is a little bit different, where it seems instead of completely doing something new, it's you're upgrading what you're already doing. You're taking it to the next level. You're presenting things in a different way. It's the list goes on and on there, but that's something that I would think about in work and business, career, even your love life, right? It is kind of funny because it's a really good month for love for you as well, Aries, I believe. And, I kind of feel that someone could be choosing you here. It's almost like someone is chasing you. I don't know. I kind of feel like you'll like it if you want love, but I do kind of feel that there could be a person that is interested in you. You have the Eight of Cups. Everybody's had the Eight of Cups, basically. Everybody is going to continue to have the Eight of Cups through the end of the year. We have these two eclipses, one in Pisces, one in Virgo, in the month of September. But they're pretty powerful eclipses, and plus, in combination with the astrology that we're having, I don't know. I really feel the universe is just asking people to cut things out that no longer serve them. And sorry, this is a little bit off. So there we go. So, again, I think the universe could be asking people to just walk away from things that no longer serve them. And, it would be a good thing to think about. With the Two of Swords, you have the Nine of Swords. Again, I'm telling you, I think you are cutting through the fog on something. It's something has been a fog in your life with that Two of Swords. I'm surprised that I'm not seeing any fog on that Two of Swords, because it just feels like that is the energy I get. And, it was the first thing that popped into my head with that Knight of Wands and the Queen of Swords. It's you're just cutting through the haze. And, I feel this is a good thing. Normally I don't really like the Nine of Swords, but I do like it. Now, one thing I will say is that based off the astrology, again, just because I say something doesn't mean it's true. And, just because I say that I don't think this is bad doesn't mean you shouldn't pay attention, right? And so, the astrology is definitely like asking us to walk away from things that are like toxic this month. So, if there is anything in your life that is a never-ending nightmare, that is toxic, it would be a good time to cut it out. With the Knight of Pentacles, I told you, 10 of Cups. Someone wants your babies. I got this like chasing feeling. Again, I read intuitively. The Knight of Pentacles would normally not be a card that I would consider to be a card of someone chasing. But, again, I read intuitively, and that's what I feel on that Knight of Pentacles. I feel like it's almost like someone is like, oh, the Aries, that is my person right there. So, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like you'll like it as well because it's like, especially for those of you, maybe if you haven't been getting attention, it might be nice to have a person who's giving you attention at this time. And again, I'm not saying this is going to happen for all of you, but definitely for those of you that are looking for love, it seems to me like there could be a person that's like really choosing you at this time. And, it could be nice. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Eight of Pentacles here. Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction. Sorry, I'm looking at all the cards here, just trying to kind of like suck in the message that's going on. You do have a lot of eights. You have 888. You have the Eight of Cups, you have the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Wands showing up. So 888 is a pretty powerful number. It could be a number that stands out to you. Eight of Swords is only seeing one way of doing things when there are many. I'm also, like I said this to Libra. It's funny that I said Libra a minute ago. But one thing I will say is that, based off the astrology, I think you and Libra, your opposite sign, could be experiencing, like, coincidences that aren't coincidences, And so if something seems like a coincidence, it probably isn't. It's probably actually like a breadcrumb from the universe. It's probably the universe being like, yes, like, pay attention to this, go in this direction, but it feels more like coincidences to me, not so much, it's not like, repeating numbers, or anything like that. That's not the type of confirmation that I think will be happening for you, Aries. Again, I think it'll be one coincidence after another. And so I would pay attention to that. Those coincidences might set you free with that Eight of Swords. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card. It says unlocking solutions. It says through compromise, you will create the successful outcome you are hoping for. You have this overcoming challenges. It says, I thought this said the same thing, but never mind. But anyway, it says a triumph will bring great change. Let yourself be open to victory. Yes, I definitely feel that like I said, I think that the type of obstacle that you're overcoming is lack of clarity. It's like very clear to me that you are cutting through the fog, and that could be the challenge that you're overcoming, is like you're finally seeing things more clearly, or you are gaining clarity as well. And so, yeah, I feel pretty good about that. You have the Three of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Temperance card. I do get the feeling here, Aries, that if you have been working on anything that you have yet to present to the world, that if you would just present it to the world, I feel it would be much more successful than you realize, much faster, is what I feel like saying with this Three of Pentacles. And so if you've been thinking about doing something, starting a project, or selling something in your business or whatever, it is popping into my head that you should just do it, because I feel that there would be a lot of attention. Again, it is an amazing time for attention for everyone, really, but we have to be, that is also the risk, with Pluto and Aquarius. I think that Pluto and Aquarius, it's kind of like the star. It wants people to be an inspiration, but, I think it also, the fears that can come up during Pluto and Aquarius is that we say something and we're wrong, or we tell people to do something and we're wrong, something like that, right? So, Pluto and Aquarius, I think, is going to require people to be a leader, but it's you have to take the risk in also the heat if things go wrong, right? So that's a little bit of the challenge there. But, Three of Pentacles is still really positive. You have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is about being adventurous, going on adventures. I do think it would be a good time for you to go on an adventure at this time with the Knight of Wands. I also think it would be a great time for you to dig into mystery. He has these three pyramids here. Pyramids in the tarot can represent mystery, and on the Knight of Wands, they definitely represent digging into mysteries. And so, again, if something has been a mystery, or something has been foggy and unclear, I think it would be a great time for you to cut through the fog and get to the facts, basically. I also like feel that, again, remember what I said at the beginning of the reading. There's something about like I don't know. It's like a a karate movie is what's popping into my head for you, Aries. It's like, you ever see one of those movies where they have like the training montage, like Rocky, for example. It's like I feel like that is what you have been through in your life, and I'm not trying to make this more dramatic than it needs to be, but it's like you have become a little bit more unbreakable. But maybe this is popping into my head as important because like you don't realize it. It's like maybe you don't realize that you have grown your muscles. Maybe you don't realize that you have gotten stronger, and so you're not taking big enough risks. And I kind of feel that's what it's saying. It's like saying, hey, you've been through all these things that have made you a little bit more unbreakable, but you have to you have to kind of like step into the ring to prove it, right? And that's kind of the energy I get off of that Knight of Wands. You have the Temperance card. Temperance is like patience. I feel like you have been patient. Temperance is also turning one thing into another. It's a card of alchemy. If you do want to create a turnaround, I think now would be a good time to work on that for sure. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Tower. Doesn't surprise me. I think, number one, like almost everyone has had the Tower this month, and so there could be some global Tower moments that are going on. I would also say that I would be like, it's popping into my head as like the battle of the wills. It's like sometimes you work together with another person, and you just bump heads. You're an Aries. You understand this, right? This is what's popping into my head. And it's like sometimes there just is it's not even about like, it doesn't even mean that the other person's a bad person or anything like that. If like you're working on a business or an idea or even a relationship, if you're just bumping heads, it's like sometimes you can't come to an agreement, right? The Tower is about accepting reality, and I do feel like some of you, not all of you, but this right here could be you accepting a reality that you're just, it's like sometimes you just can't see eye to eye with other people. And I feel like some of you could be admitting that to yourself. The really funny thing here is, Aries, is that I also am getting that this could be something that happened years ago. It's like maybe you're realizing that just certain people you just couldn't work with, and, that's it. With the Knight of Wands, you literally have the Five of Pentacles, which says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. I always say this card says, focus on your strengths, right? It's almost like this is encouraging you to step into the ring. Like I said, with that Knight of Wands, it's saying you need to focus on the things that you're good at. Because that's what will lead to the most success for you, Aries, and that's what I would be doing here. With the Temperance card, you have the Emperor, you showing up here. Whenever you show up as yourself, it kind of puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. So, there could be a lot of success coming in for you at this time, especially in taking the lead, and especially if you've been bumping heads with that. Again, the words that popped into my head were Battle of the Wills with that Tower card. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like I feel like some of you maybe have that going on in your life. I don't even think it's that big of a deal. It's like I don't think it's that dramatic or whatever, but there you go. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Change card and this Opportunity card. I mean, I literally feel this could be saying that you have a good opportunity to create a lot of positive change in your life. There's that moon there, and so we have two eclipses this month of September. One in Pisces on the 7th, one in Virgo on the 21st. And, that could be that could be where the changes are happening, like around those dates, right? So, it could be a good time for you to think about, like, changes that you want to make, or, it could just be a good time for you to make changes in general. You have the Four Wands, the Ten of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. Four Wands can be marriage. Four Wands can be, like, setting yourself free as well. Number one, again, if you are looking for love, I definitely feel some of you could be finding a person that's like, I don't know, I feel like this person's chasing you, but not like in a bad way. It's like sometimes I think chasing can be creepy, of course, or bad, but it's not like that. It's like I feel this is more like someone is choosing you this month. So if you want love, I definitely think it could be a good month for you. And I feel like it feels good as well. Like I said earlier, it's like it feels good to have a person choose you for once, right? And that's kind of like the feeling I get here. And so there could be commitment. Four Wands is also freedom. And like I said, with that Queen of Swords, I really feel your vision. It's like you're setting yourself free with your vision. You're able to see more clearly, or you're cutting through the fog. You have the Ten of Swords, yeah, like with the Tower and the Three of Pentacles. Again, that is Battle of the Wills. That is two people who don't see eye to eye. That is a group of people, you and your boss not seeing eye to eye. I don't even think that's talking about love. I think that's just talking about existing differences with something, you know? Ten of Swords could be you just deciding that something is dead, done, over with, or it's not like you're giving up, right? But it's like when I think sometimes when we stop trying to prove things to people, it just, makes things better, right? And that's almost the feeling that I get for you here, Aries, again. So I think that'll be, pretty good for you. Ten of Swords, it can also be a blessing in disguise, and I do feel that there could be a blessing in disguise coming in for some of you this month. You have the Queen of Swords, again, probably your most important card here, because she cuts through the fog. She only has clouds halfway up her body. She's seeing clearly for the first time. So again, clearly, I think there is a lot of clarity coming in for you, or could be a lot more clarity, and obviously that would be a good thing. With the Four Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Could be a change in your fortunes, for sure. The thing with the Wheel of Fortune is that we have to make sure that we keep winning if we have wins. We have to double down on the wins, right? And we have to try to recreate the wins that we are having. And, that's basically what I would be doing here with the Wheel of Fortune is kind of like double down on your wins. And also, don't... I don't know how to say what I want to say, Aries. It's like sometimes there are situations where I think people get what they want but they almost complain about it or something. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but it is popping into my head and it's not exactly clear. I think this is just saying, practice gratitude for your wins and that'll make things much, much better, right? With the Ten of Swords, you have the King of Cups. Could be attracting a water sign or a King of Cups type person here. This could be the blessing. I kind of do feel like this is a blessing. If a person is choosing you, it could be a surprise as well. Didn't I say this to you recently, Aries? What I'm about to say, which you actually have no clue what I'm talking about, but I think I said to you recently, it's almost like you are scooping someone up. It's almost like I'm pretty sure it was you that I just said this to. It's almost like you are the one that's taking someone off the market as well. But, the interesting thing is it's like I think you could be scooping someone up here that other people are interested in, but it's like they've been too slow. They haven't been doing a damn thing about it. It's like you are. And so it's like, you could be really attracting someone here that people will be kind of jealous of. I kind of get that feeling. I also feel the coincidences here. There could be a lot of coincidences that happen, when you meet this person. So, sometimes people ask me, who is this person, or how do I know who this person is? Again, I think there might be a lot of little coincidences that happen between you and this person. So, that's what I'd be paying attention to. Yes. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Lovers. Yes. Are you kidding? So, yes, I think that you are getting clear on love. We have the Six of Cups here as well. I do not consider the Six of Cups to be a past person. To me, it's a new person, could be a new soulmate. It's a card of innocence and nostalgia. It can be a card of thinking about the past, but it doesn't necessarily mean the past is coming back. But I do think that this could be a new person that's coming in for you. Could be love. Could be a Gemini for some of you as well, Aries, if that's what you're into. But, looks good to me. Next in the area of the good stuff, here you go. You have this card. It says your heart's desires manifesting. Love it. You have this rain card. It says gifts on it. Yes. The Six of Cups can be a gift from the universe, and usually the gift we receive from the Six of Cups is a turnaround, meaning we can be bumping up against an obstacle, and then when we get the Six of Cups, the obstacle can be removed. So, a lot of you could be overcoming obstacles here, which is nice, but yeah, looks pretty good to me. You have the Eight of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and the Six of Cups. Eight of Wands can be charging forward towards success. So I feel a lot of you could be kind of charging towards a success here this month. Again, I do think this is going to be a good month for you, mostly in the area of clarity, but also love. So if you want love, this could also be a lot of communication. I think if you're finding love, this could be something that moves very quickly. And, I think it kind of just falls into place more quickly as well, which is nice. So it could be a very solid connection. Eight of Wands is also about your focus. I do believe the more focused you can be, the better. And also the more focused on what's working, right? We've been talking about leveling up what you do for a very long time. And so I think figuring out what's working and doing more of that and leveling that up is what you should be doing, because it'll probably just lead to faster successes. You have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups and the good stuff can say you have a lot of options in life, which you probably do, Aries. And I would double down on those options. it's like, I don't know, I always get this feeling, I'm pretty sure I said this to you recently as well, Aries. It's like, I wish I had a good example of like what I'm trying to say. But, it's like, I think Aries, it needs to expand in the world. It's like, let's just pretend you wanted to like teach a class about something, Aries. It's like, maybe you're saying, maybe you're thinking, oh, I'll teach this class locally, It's like, I see Aries needing to like speak to the world, It's like, that's the type of leveling up that I'm talking about. It's like, you're not meant to play small, I think you're meant to, it's like the universe wants you to do things on a larger scale. Obviously, that's the word I'm looking for, is that you need to increase the scale of what you're doing. That is exactly what you're doing. You're scaling something. That's what the leveling up thing has been, Aries. I think you are scaling something up. And, obviously you're all different. But, there's probably a billion videos on YouTube about how to scale whatever the hell it is that you do. I would go watch some of those videos for free. And I would implement what you learned, because I don't know. I've been getting this message for you for weeks, months, years, about leveling up. You have this Six of Cups. Yeah, I would say that if you're getting into something, that it won't be very serious in a good way. I mean, it's like, there will be a commitment. It'll be serious. But, Six of Cups is usually like a connection that's like a little more lighthearted, a little bit more playful. It's like both people are just having fun, enjoying the energy, not trying to, make it something it isn't, And I think those are sometimes the best relationships, when it's not like super serious and like, oh, we have to get married tomorrow and blah, blah, blah. It's like just more fun and, less attachment. And I think that could be coming in for those of you that want a connection, which is nice. Here you go. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Queen of Wands. I'm pretty sure I said to the Pisces, the first reading I did, that everybody would have the Queen of Wands this month, and I basically haven't been wrong. The Queen of Wands is about learning as you go. And this month is definitely one of those months where it's like, I think we have to learn as we go, or it's like there isn't, things might not be exactly clear, although you seem to be getting a lot of clarity with the Queen of Swords, which is good. But at the same time, it's like we have to be willing to take the risk of starting something, like even like a relationship or, scaling our business or whatever we're doing in life. We have to take that risk, and we have to take the risk to figure it out as we go, right? And I think doing that will be very good. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is expansion, growth, and scaling. He is you cannot make that up, Aries. He's standing at the top of this mountain. He has these boats on the ocean here. They're pointing out of the harbor. He could get on those boats and he could scale his situation. Like he needs to leave a comfort zone. That's the whole point of the card, is that he needs to get out into the world and see how things are done. He needs to see how other people do things as well. I think that would be very beneficial. With the Six of Cups, you have the Temperance card. You have Temperance twice. Temperance can be a turnaround again. Six of Cups can be a gift from the universe, and usually the gift we get from the Six of Cups is like a turnaround, or like obstacles being removed from our life. And you have this gift card as well, so there definitely could be some sort of gift from the universe in the form of a turnaround. I dropped it. You have this Restlessness card. Yeah, I would any time you're feeling restless, I would channel that energy into something. I think restlessness can be very destructive if we don't use it. I think if you channel it into something creative, or into a project, or even like into your health, or into like going for a walk or lifting weights or whatever, I don't care. I would use that energy instead of like being restless. You have this Control card. This card always reminds me of the World, for obvious reasons. But it is a good card. I mean, you could literally be taking control of your destiny with the Wheel of Fortune. The whole point of the Wheel of Fortune is to take control of your destiny. But I like to remind people that the Wheel of Fortune is your destiny how you see it. It's not necessarily like really your destiny, right? It is your personal vision for your life. It's like what you think your life should be, which is good. But it's like sometimes we do have to make sure we're taking control of the direction of the wheel and spinning in the right direction. You have this Authority card. I think it would be an amazing time for you to become an authority on a topic, right? So any of you who do want to become an authority, like now is the time for sure. Aries, especially with Neptune, I'm telling you right now. The thing about Neptune in your sign is I believe we're going to see like the rise of cults, right? More cults during Neptune and Aries. Like starting, Neptune moves back into Aries in February of next year, or January, sorry. And so again, like we could see stuff like that. But again, you can take advantage of that in a positive way. You could just build a following. You could become an authority figure on a topic, right? And you don't have to build a cult, but you could use the energy to build something positive, right? And I would, if I were an Aries, right? That's what I would be focusing on for sure. You have this protection card. Yeah, I think you are protected from risk. Again, like I said, you've been through the training. You are Rocky. It's like you've been through the training montage. You've done all the hard work. You've done all the push-ups and all the fighting and all that, right? Now it's time to like prove it, is what I get here. And sorry, I can't get this card for some reason. You have this eccentricity card. I wanted this card, and it just wouldn't come up. So, again, we are in a very eccentric time, Uranus and Gemini. Uranus will be retrograding, by the way, out of Gemini in this year. It will retrograde into Taurus in November, at like the first week of November. I literally feel it's actually on the 7th, if I'm not mistaken. But what I would say is, again, it's already been in Gemini. We're in a very eccentric time. I think people who are flexible, who are okay doing things in eccentric ways, who aren't afraid to be eccentric, are probably going to benefit most from Uranus and Gemini. So something to think about. But pretty good here, Aries. I like where this is going. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.